On today's episode of Ask Coach Wendy, we're talking with Wendy Mader in Colorado, and our topic is the components of a race plan, Coach. And I'm sure you get that question a lot. What are the kind of things that you go over with your athletes about the key components?
Well, the key components of a race plan have to do with the key components of their training plan. So I want to make sure at least a month out from an athlete's race that they know kind of they're already getting ready to know what they're going to expect when they get to the race. So that mainly has to do with their pacing plan, their nutrition plan, and their mental strategies just in case things go wrong. It's important to be prepared to have the right mindset and the right attitude and to focus on the things they can control during the race. So when it comes to their race pace planning, we make sure we dial in their heart rate, power, less of a pace because pacing can be defined or determined by wind or weather conditions. So some athletes I coach do still race by rate of perceived effort, but through the training plan, they know what a 5, a 10, a 20 feels like. So we just really make sure before the race that they first outline their plan. I send them a piece of paper to fill out because I want to know what they know and what they don't know. And then they send it back to me so I can further add details or ask them more questions. So I have a column for pacing plan for the swim, pacing plan for transition, pacing plan for the bike, T2, as well as the run. And they'll kind of put in a time or, like I said, the heart rate or the power. And then we move on to nutrition. What are they going to eat the morning of? Are they going to eat something before the swim? What are they going to eat after the swim? And all that has to do with the distance of the race. And then same thing on the bike, same thing on the run. And then, of course, celebration, make sure they have maybe recovery drink or some other beverage of choice when they finish the race. So they're just really prepared. I think the best way to go into a race is knowing exactly what's going to happen, and that's what the training's about. And then, I really coach a lot on the mental aspects of training. So we'll go through case scenarios. What happens if they get a mechanical? A flat tire, how are they going to react to the mechanical or the flat tire? I had a broken chain in Ironman Coeur d'Alene 2008. Who breaks their chain in a race? And I tried to get really upset and I tried to make myself cry, but I just couldn't. I'm like, well, there's nothing I can do but wait. So it was kind of a good experience for me to deal with something out of my control and how did I react to it? And I was actually remained pretty calm. But you see athletes out there who could not be prepared and throw a fit or something in a negative way react to the unexpected. What happens if they can't get their wetsuit off? How are they going to react? So it's all about really preparing each athlete mentally to be really calm and focused and just let go of what they can't control and really just stay focused in the moment of what they can control. So it's all outlined on a piece of paper, and it's all, if we hadn't trained for it yet, it gives us about a month to make sure we fine tune one of those three aspects of training: pacing, nutrition, and mental plan.
Now, when it comes to a mental plan and facing the unknowns on race day, there's a difference between race day environment and training environments. Do you put your athletes through a practice scenario like, okay, let's go ahead and do some dry weather or dry land wetsuit removal? Do you have to practice that ahead of time? Because when you're there on race day, I know how to mentally prepare, but I've never done it physically.
Right. So especially with a new athlete, the first timer or the less experienced athlete, if I'm with them, we'll do it together in person. I do a lot of clinics locally for stuff like that. But if they're a distance athlete, really it's up to them to do it on their own with my guidance. Sometimes we find a YouTube video of someone else showing them how to do it, or I just make sure they're ready for anything. Because I've been doing this for almost 25 years. So I've been there, done that. All I have to do is, reach back into it, tell me a year, and I can tell you all about my year from a racing and training perspective.
So having a plan A, but most importantly, probably having a plan B and
Have a
possibly a
plan
plan
B.
C.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, take advantage Ironman Maryland. They were canceled due to the hurricane. So I had an athlete getting ready for that, and we didn't prepare for it to be canceled, but it was. So now we have all these plan A, B, and C, which was determined today, Tuesday, if that Ironman was going to go through with it on a later date or if they were going to offer future entries into other races. So because that had happened in Tahoe, I knew that, so I could prepare her this past weekend of all her options, depending on what was going to happen today.
If you have a question for Wendy, use the hashtag AskCoachWendy on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Thanks very much, Coach.
Thank you.